Thank you for tuning into Bond Court. I want to continue posting Bond Court every night on YouTube, but the viewership and engagement on my channel has fallen off a cliff. I would greatly appreciate your help by hitting the like button and leaving a comment on my videos. Thank you and enjoy the show.
I do find probable cause for your arrest. You should qualify for bonds with PTR conditions, so your bonds can be set at $500. There is a victim present. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What is your first and last name?
Pedro, first name, last name Ovales, Ovalles.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you could swear him in.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Pedro Ovales.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Ovalis, you're the listed victim of this case. Please do not tell me any facts about this case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with this defendant.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? If
Tell me why you would like to have contact with the defendant.
Yes, I mean,
You have to tell me why.
if I want to have contact with...
Yes.
Yes. She's my wife. I mean, I'm not pressing no charges or nothing against her.
Okay, so you're saying that you are not afraid at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any weapons in the home?
Not at all.
Do you understand that no contact order is a way that the court can protect you from any harm?
I do.
And once that is removed, there's no way the court can protect you.
Understood.
And have someone spoken to you about obtaining an injunction?
No.
No? All right. An injunction is more so of a civil matter. And if you would like to obtain an injunction, you go to the Orange County Courthouse and obtain such an injunction. And that also provides you with some protection, because that also will say that she is not to have any contact with you. But from what you told me, you don't wish to have an injunction because you wish to have contact with her, correct?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to come in here to say, hey, judge, make sure I have contacts with this defendant?
Nobody. No, ma'am.
All right, State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, you covered it. Thank you.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, I had talked to him previously, and he advised me the same thing. He was not afraid and wanted to maintain contact. They have children together.
All right. I'm gonna order no hostile contact, ma'am. That means that you cannot be aggressive towards him whatsoever, so no yelling. If you get into an argument, you are the one that needs to step away, because a no hostile contact is for you. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you can go back to the home. Just make sure you have no hostile contact with him. And again, the bond is set at $500.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, is that $250 for each count? That's the wrong page. I'm sorry. I have the wrong.
I was gonna say, I'm like, are my notes
That's my
wrong?
bad. What was which last name was this? Which
This is the one you
Sure.
and I talked about,
This is-
Pedron Carros.
Caro.
Okay, my apologies. Thank you.
All right, you scared me. I was like, oh boy, I
no,
guess my
no.
notes are wrong.
got a lot
Scared me
going
too,
on.
Your Honor.
All righty,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. Right, next case where I need defense counsel, private defense counsel, is a Tyler Lorenzo, is it Whiteside?
It is, Judge.
All righty. Do you have a victim here for that case? Hearing nothing? All right, your client was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Specifically speaking, that deadly weapon is a firearm.
I think it came in, Judge, as a deadly weapon. He was given $2,500 bond, and it was obviously zeroed out for first appearance. And so
I'm sorry, say that last part?
I was saying that it came in as, I think, a deadly weapon, ag assault, but he had a $2,500 bond, and they zeroed it out so he could come before Your Honor. That's where we're sitting right now. There's a firearm in contention, yes.
I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond's gonna be set at $3,500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're to surrender all weapons and firearms within 24 hours of your release. Understood?
So,
All right, thank you.
Judge, one quick matter. Is he able to surrender to a custodian of ownership, or does he need to surrender to the sheriff's office?
To the sheriff's office, sir.
Okay, and I can file my motion in the other court.
Sure
Alrighty.
can.
Seeing you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
Seeing you, you
Thank you.
too.
Your Honor, I have the possession statute for that case.
For the
The
fentanyl?
fentanyl. Yes, it appears to be 893.147, and that is 7-2G. 7D2G, sorry. There's a lot of drugs in here.
Just put that to the side. I'll double check. So, Mr. Kelly, your client needs a Spanish interpreter, correct? All righty.
And I do have a copy of a declination I provided to the state and a notice of appearance. So I may approach Madam Clerk with this, or
So these are all Spanish for orange. Yeah. Okay, and this is gonna go on the bottom. All right, since I'm gonna be utilizing Spanish interpreter, can I just do these cases first? Okay. And I just need to do the same thing, or just use this device?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, if you allow me just one moment to connect and confirm to the headsets, please.
Okay,
let me approach
with the declination?
and I've got a notice of appearance from Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, Counsel, if you allow me just a moment so I can confirm that your client can hear me, please. Thank you. Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets. I just asked that it please speak up.
All right, and Mr. Kelly, if you can just put your first and last name.
Thank you, Your Honor. James Kelly, for the record, on behalf of Jeffrey Dulio Carrillo Orantes, and that's 2022 CF 8745AO.
You wanted to approach, you have some information for me?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to approach with an affidavit of declination of prosecution by the alleged victim and a notice of appearance. I have provided the same to the state. The alleged victim. Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Carrillo Orantes is seeking a return home and no hostile contact with the alleged victim. She's present. She's indicated the same. She's also refused to press charges and refused to give a statement to law enforcement, from my understanding.
All right. The court has reviewed the affidavit for arrest warrant. This case is 22 CF 8745. Court does find probable cause as to each of these offenses. Defendant is entitled to bond as to each count. Bond amount as to count 1 will be set at $5,000. Bond amount as to count 2 will be set at $500. Before I talk about conditions, we do have the alleged victim present. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Can you please tell me your first and last name?
Madeline Hernandez.
Go ahead and raise your right hand for me.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and put your hand down. So, Ms. Hernandez, I received your affidavit of declination of prosecution. Please don't tell me any facts about your case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with the defendant.
Yes, I do.
Tell me why.
We are married. We do have a 4-month-old. He is my financial support right now. And we do want to have a family together.
If he was not your financial support, would you still want to have contacts with him?
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to come in here and say, Judge, make sure that, you let him come back home?
No.
And do you understand that the no contact order is the only way the court can protect you?
Yes.
Do you know what an injunction is?
Yes.
Have you thought about getting an injunction, or you don't wish to get one?
Don't wish to get one.
Are there any weapons in the home?
No.
All right. State any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I am very concerned from my reading of the arrest warrant. Looks like the defendant was holding this young child while he punched and choked the victim. I am not going to allow contact at this time. You can certainly amend my no contact at a later date. But right now, I'm going to order no contact, used to maintain a separate residence from this victim. If he has any personal items, I will allow him a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve his personal items. He is not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, can you advise the defendant he has a hold for immigration?
All right, Mr. Kelly, are you aware that your client has a hold for immigration?
I looked for that. I wasn't sure if they did or not. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Does it give any details as to the hold or just immigration hold? Or does it? They're different.
It typically just says immigration, but I don't know if PTR has some additional information for you. No? All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have before you, Your Honor, if I may be excused.
You may have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Yes. All right, next case that's gonna need the Spanish interpreter. I don't know who.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Okay, can I have the defendant's first and last name, please?
Alberto Ismael Salinas Valencia.
Your Honor, the interpreter is getting clarification.
Alberto Ismael Salinas Valencia.
Alberto Ismael Salinas Valencia.
All right. He has case 22 CF 10825. He was arrested for 2 separate counts. The first one is false imprisonment, domestic violence. Count 2 is battery, domestic violence. We do find probable cause as to each of these offenses. He is entitled to a bond as to each of these offenses. Bond is set at $1,000 as to count 1. As to count 2, bond is set at $500. This is going to be, let's see. Don't believe he qualifies for PTR. However, before I tell him what his conditions are, there is a victim that is present. Ma'am, can I have your first and last name?
Kimberly Montañez. Montañez.
Mr. Barrera, I believe the victim's probably gonna need a Spanish interpreter.
Certainly, Your Honor, we could just remove the headsets from the defendant. I'll go ahead and interpret over the loudspeaker, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Ma'am, if you can raise your right hand for me.
Señora, por favor, levante la mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Usted jura solemnemente o afirma que el testimonio que usted dará en este caso será la verdad, toda la verdad y solamente la verdad ante Dios.
Yes, sí.
Please state your name.
Yes. Por favor, diga su nombre para que conste en actas.
Kimberly Montañez.
Kimberly Montañez. Montanés.
Yes.
Ms. Montanez, you are the listed victim of this case.
Señora Montanés, usted es la víctima indicada en este caso. Yes.
Please don't tell me any facts about this case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with the defendant.
Por favor, no me relate ninguno de los detalles de este caso. Simplemente necesito saber si usted desea trato con este acusado.
No.
No.
All right, very well. Thank you so much.
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias.
All right. As a condition, you're not to have any contact with the listed victim.
Como condición, no se le permitirá tener trato con la víctima indicada.
You are to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim.
Se le exige mantener una residencia separada de la víctima indicada.
If you have any personal items at the home, I'll give you one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those items.
Si usted tiene artículos personales en el hogar, se le permitirá regresar una sola vez acompañado de un agente de orden público para recopilar sus pertenencias personales.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego o armas blancas.
You were out on bond in case 22 CT 3508.
Usted se encontraba libre bajo fianza en el caso 22 CT 3508.
All right, because of this new arrest, I'm going to revoke that bond,
Debido a este nuevo arresto, le voy a revocar a usted esa fianza
set you at 0 at this time.
y no tendrá derecho a fianza en este momento.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
All right, next person that we have, she can just put on the headsets, please.
Sí, hola.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Ma'am, could I have your first and last name?
Jacqueline Lima Briceño.
Francis Jacqueline Lima Briceño.
Ma'am, you were arrested on one count of battery domestic violence. Your case number is 22 MM 6319. You do qualify for a bond. This is gonna come with PTR. Your bond amount is set at $500 because I do find probable cause for your arrest. Before I tell you what your conditions are, we do have someone present. Sir, can you tell me your first and last name?
Neomar Ferreira.
Your Honor, I spoke to this victim earlier, and I believe he is going to need the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, my apologies. The victim is also going to need the Spanish interpreter.
Certainly, Your Honor, no worries.
All right.
Your Honor, she doesn't qualify for free trial.
She does not.
Su señoría, ella no reúne requisitos para la libertad provisional.
All right. Sir, if you can raise your right hand for me.
Caballero, por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Usted jura solemnemente o afirma que el testimonio que usted dará en este caso será la verdad, toda la verdad y solamente la verdad. Yes.
Okay, tell me your first and last name again.
Por favor, de nuevo, dígame su nombre y su apellido.
Neomar Ferreira.
Leomar Ferrera.
And you are the listed victim in this case.
¿Y usted es la víctima indicada en este caso?
Sí.
Yes.
Please don't tell me any facts about the case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with the defendant.
Por favor, no me relate ninguno de los hechos. En este caso, simplemente necesito saber si usted desea trato con la acusada.
Sí.
Yes.
Tell me why you want to have contacts with her.
Dígame por qué desea usted trato con ella.
Solamente tuvimos un malentendido.
All we had was a misunderstanding.
Okay, so you are not afraid of her at this time?
Entonces, ¿usted no la teme ahí en este momento?
No.
No.
Is anyone forcing you to come in here and request contact?
¿Alguien lo está obligando a usted a venir aquí a decir que usted desea trato?
No.
No.
Do you understand that the no contact order is in place to protect you?
Y usted entiende que la orden de alejamiento que está en vigor fue emitida para protegerlo a usted.
Sí, pero creo que es un malentendido porque nosotros solamente tuvimos una discusión de pareja como normal.
But I think this is all just a misunderstanding because all we had was a simple argument between a couple.
Are there any weapons in the home?
¿Existen armas o armas de fuego en el hogar?
No.
No.
All right, state any questions?
No, Your Honor.
¿Fiscalía tiene preguntas? No, su señoría.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
¿Defensa? No, su señoría.
All right, I'm going to order no hostile contact.
Voy a ordenar la prohibición de trato hostil, contacto hostil.
So, Ms. Briceño, that means that you cannot be aggressive towards him whatsoever. Do you understand?
Lo que eso significa, señorita Briceño, es que usted no se le va a permitir actuar de manera agresiva en absoluto en contra de él. ¿Usted entiende?
Okay. Sí.
Okay. Yes.
If there is an argument, that means that you need to step away because the no hostile contact pertains to you.
Así es que si existe alguna discusión, eso significa que usted debe alejarse de esa situación porque la orden de prohibición le afecta a usted.
Okay, entiendo.
Okay, I understand.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
All right, next case that needs a Spanish interpreter.
Your Honor, Jose Rodriguez Cortez is mental health.
All right, he's on a mental health hold.
Well, he hasn't been cleared by mental health, so he's not able to court today.
At this time, Your Honor, we would waive his appearance. And
All right.
Anna Waddell for the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a failure to appear, and it's for case 22 CF 3133. Bond is set at 0 at this time. All right, next case that needs a Spanish interpreter.
It's Diego Tavares Flor, and he's medical.
He's in medical. All right,
Your Honor, at this time, we would waive his appearance.
thank you. His case is 22 MM 6330. There's 2 counts, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. His bond is going to be stayed at $500. Second count's providing false identification to law enforcement. I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $100. He is not to possess or consume any drugs unless prescribed by a licensed physician. Next Spanish case.
Your Honor, for Stephen Mateo Lopez, he says he doesn't need an interpreter.
Will not need
No,
an
he's
interpreter.
saying he doesn't need the interpreter.
All right.
But we do have one case where there's a victim. The defendant's not here.
What case is that?
Jacqueline Matila.
Okay. And you said that the victim is here?
The victim is here, but the defendant's behavior. They're not-
Oh, behavior?
Yeah.
Okay, defense, are you willing to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, can we have the victim?
And Your Honor, if you could kindly provide the name and case number at your earliest convenience.
For Jacqueline Mentila?
For the victim in this case, whatever case this is, Judge.
All right, it's 22 CF 10839. And the victim,
Well, I actually just need the name of the defendant, if you wouldn't mind, Your Honor.
Defendant's Jacqueline Mantilla, Mantilla.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Are you able to hear and understand me? Or do you need?
Muy buenas tardes, ¿usted me escucha y me entiende?
Sí, correcto, con el intérprete sí.
Yes, correct, I do with the interpreter.
All right, perfect. Miss Jacqueline Mantilla, her appearance won't be needed for today. It's been waived.
La comparecencia de la señorita Mantilla no va a suceder en el día de hoy. Se han excusado la comparecencia de ella.
I have reviewed the arrest warrant.
He revisado la orden de arresto.
I do find probable cause as to the tampering with the witness to hinder communication.
Determino que existen indicios razonables para el cargo de interferir con un testigo para prohibir la comunicación.
And as to count 2, battery on a person over 65 years of age, I do find probable cause.
En el segundo cargo, un cargo de agresión en contra de una persona mayor de 65 años de edad, determino que existen indicios razonables.
She is entitled to a bond as to each count.
Ella tiene derecho a fianza en cada uno de los cargos.
As to count 1, bond will be set at $1,000.
En el primer cargo se va a programar la fianza en $1,000.
As to count 2, bond will be set at $2,500.
Y en el segundo cargo, la fianza será programada en $2,500.
If you can raise your right hand for me, sir. I'm going to ask
Caballero, si pudiera levantar su mano derecha, le voy a hacer unas preguntas.
Sí.
Do you solemnly
Yes.
swear? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Usted jura solemnemente o afirma que el testimonio que usted dará en este caso será la verdad, toda la verdad y solamente la verdad ante Dios.
Sí, juro, todo es correcto.
Yes, I swear, everything's correct.
Thank you. And sir,
Gracias.
Sir, tell me your first and last name again.
Caballero, por favor, repítame su nombre y su apellido.
Mi nombre es Jeremías Mantilla con J.
My name is Jeremías Mantilla with J.
You are the listed victim in this case.
¿Usted es la presunta víctima en este caso?
Sí, eso es correcto.
Yes, that's correct.
Please don't tell me any facts about this case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with the defendant.
Por favor, no me relate ninguno de los hechos en el caso. Simplemente necesito saber si usted desea trato con la acusada.
¿Qué quiere decir trato?
What do you mean by contact?
Do you wish for her to return to the home so you can have contact with her?
¿Usted desea que ella regrese al hogar para que usted tenga trato con ella?
No, porque hace una semana yo fui a la fiscalía y le quité cargos por violencia doméstica que hace un año.
No, momentico, señor. No, because about a week ago I went to the state attorney and asked him to drop charges due to domestic violence.
Necesito que le pongan una orden de alejamiento y le busquen dónde vivir.
I need for an injunction to be put in place and find her a place to stay.
Porque ella ya me ha golpeado varias veces y ha estado aquí arrestada y a la mamá también.
Because she's hit me many times and she's been arrested and she's also done that to her mother as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
One more question.
Una pregunta adicional.
Are there any weapons in the home?
Necesito.
Un momentico, señor. ¿En el hogar existen armas de fuego?
Para nada, pero cuchillos sí. Ella
Not at all. But there are knives and she can be very violent.
All right. I'm going to order no contact.
Voy a prohibirle el trato.
Defendant has to maintain a separate residence from this victim.
La acusada se le exige mantener una residencia separada de esta víctima.
I will give her a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that she may have in the home.
Se le permitirá regresar una sola vez acompañado de un agente del orden público para recopilar sus pertenencias personales.
She is not to possess any weapons or firearms.
No se le permitirá a ella portar armas de fuego o armas blancas.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
Yo quiero agregar algo, perdón.
But excuse me, I wanted to add something.
What
Ella,
would you like to add?
ella
¿Qué es lo que usted desea agregar? Señor, necesito que espere, por favor. Your Honor, clarification, I was just instructing the witness to please wait for the interpretation.
Thank you.
Señor, adelante, pero por favor, espere a la interpretación. Por favor, diga lo que quiere decir.
quiero comunicar de que ella es deshabilitada mental, ella es bipolar y esquizofrénica. Ella necesita...
I wanted to make sure, momentico, señor. I wanted to make clear that she is mentally disabled. She is a bipolar and she's schizophrenic.
Okay.
Muy bien.
necesita tomar medicamentos
And she's in need of taking medication
a las condiciones mentales.
due to her mental condition.
I'm sure her defense attorney will speak to her about any mental health conditions that she may have.
Yo estoy seguro que su abogado hablará con ella referente a las condiciones mentales que pudiera padecer.
Y ella se ha puesto más violenta porque la mamá murió mi esposa o la mamá de ella murió hace 10 semanas de cáncer.
And she's become even more violent recently because my wife, her mother, passed away from cancer about 10 weeks ago.
Entonces ella hace 5 días salió de aquí de la prisión. Ella estaba aquí porque no llegó a una corte. Y yo fui.
And about 5 days ago, she got out of jail and she never made it to court.
PTR, does she qualify for?
El Departamento de Libertad Provisional, ella reúne requisitos.
Repítame.
Not you, sir.
No estamos hablando con usted en este momento, caballero.
She hasn't been interviewed or screened yet.
I'm sorry, she hasn't.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, go ahead.
She hasn't been screened with pretrial due to her being in a different area.
A ella no la han evaluado todavía debido a que se encuentra en un área diferente.
Can she be screened prior to her release?
¿La pueden evaluar antes de que la liberen?
Yes.
Sí.
Sí, claro que sí.
Of course, yes.
All right.
Psychiatrists need to.
I'm gonna order PTR to have her screened, and if she does qualify, it's gonna be bonds with mental health. PTR.
Voy a pedir al Departamento de Libertad Provisional que la evalúen y si reúne requisitos será libertad provisional con condiciones de salud mental.
Y ella también que la manden a clases. Yo quiero que la manden al hospital mental, como padre pido, y que ella asista, la manden a programas de rehabilitación de droga, licor y
Momentico, señor.
violencia doméstica.
And she needs to go to classes and she needs to go to a mental hospital. As her father, I'm asking for her to be taking an intake into a program for drugs and liquor and tobacco.
Cocaine.
All right, sir, I do understand that you want me to impose all these conditions. However, I think it's better for you to speak with the assistant state attorney that's going to be assigned on this case. My job today is just to review the charging affidavit. That is all.
Señor, yo sé que usted desea que yo le imponga a ella todas estas condiciones, pero me parece mejor que usted primero hable con la fiscalía, porque mi obligación y mi deber en el día de hoy simplemente es revisar el acta acusatoria.
All right.
Está bien.
Were you gonna say?
That's fine.
Yes.
Necesito otra corte, ¿no?
Her to be screened
I need.
I'm sorry, hold on for 1 second. Yes, PTR.
for straight PTR,
No,
mental health PTR.
yes. So
And
she
the-
has a bond, but
Mhm.
it's gonna be with mental health. PTR,
If she qualifies.
if she qualifies.
And if not, then just straight bonds.
Correct. With my conditions of no contact, no weapons, and,
Okay.
okay? You're welcome. All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
All right, next case, officers.
I believe that's all the Spanish interpreters.
That's all Spanish. Okay. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Barrero.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Who do we have in front of us?
Jason Clavette.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Clavette. Mr. Clavette, your case is 22 6334. You're arrested for 1 count of battery domestic violence. You do qualify for a bond. Do find probable cause. Your bond is set at 500. You're not to have any contacts with the listed victim. You're to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim. If you have any personal items there, I'll give you one-time assistance to retrieve any personal items. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Any additional conditions, state?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I have one question, maybe.
You have one question? Okay.
I'm also a victim in this case, correct?
You're also a victim?
In this case. I'm wondering, because she's being charged too, I'm wondering why I'm the only one.
That, I don't know. I don't believe I reviewed anything on Miss Barker. That's something you need to speak with your defense attorney about, okay?
On my paperwork that she's a co-defendant.
It may be. I don't recall reviewing anything about Ms. Barker, but I've reviewed 100+ cases today, okay?
And I have a bond of 500?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Is this Diamond Bronson? Okay. Your case is 22 CF 10810. There's 2 counts, battery on a security officer and then trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. Your bond is to count 1 is going to be stayed at $2,500. Your bond is to count 2 is going to be stayed at $100. You're not to have any contacts with the listed victim, and you are not to return to Ross, located at 306 East Michigan Street. Okay? All right, good afternoon. Please state your first and last name for me.
Rufino de Leon.
All right, thank you. All right, so I have 2 cases. The first one is 22 6333. It's trespassing on property. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $500. You're not to return to 5840 South Orange Avenue, and that's Blossom Harvest Church. You have a violation of probation, which is 21 CF 15158. Question PTR, is this an on view or?
Yes, it's on view.
All right. Due to the new law, this will be an on-view violation of your probation. Bond is going to be set at 0 at this time. All right? Thank you. Good afternoon. Please tell me your first and last name.
Emil Phillips.
Mr. Phillips, your case is 22 6331. In charged with trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond is set at $500. Please do not return to the Aldi located at 4607 South Orange Blossom Trail. Okay?
Your Honor, there is an offer on this case that Mr. Phillips would like to enter into.
The thing is, I don't do offers on cases because they've not been formally charged, so there's no information. So I have a hard time taking offers because there's no information. So I can't do that at this time. Okay?
Your Honor, you said that the bond was $500?
Yes, ma'am. So just so you all know, I don't do pleas if the information has not been filed.
Yes, Your
Okay?
Honor.
Good afternoon. Right here. Hey, hi. Please tell me your first and last name.
Richard Clyde McIntyre.
All right. I'm looking at a violation of probation. It's case 22 CF 32210 AO. Your bond is currently set at 0 at this time. All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Please tell me your first and last name.
Terry Joyce Cobb.
All right, Ms. Cobb, your case is 22 CT 10817. You're charged with 1 count, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Can I tell you what happened during that?
No. I would advise you not tell me anything about your case. You're being recorded, so anything you say can and will be used
Oh,
against
no,
you.
that's okay.
No. I would advise you not tell me anything. Go ahead and speak with her. All right. I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond is going to be stayed at $2,500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim, and you are not to return to the area of East Parr Street and Pinehurst Avenue.
Yes, ma'am.
And you cannot possess any weapons or firearms, okay?
Do you know? Can I ask what her one was open? Because I haven't been here in a long time. Huh? Can I ask her anything? How long am I? How long am I?
All right, please tell me your first and last name.
Michael Rogers.
All right, Mr. Rogers, your case is 22 CF 10840. Been charged with aggravated battery, tampering with a witness, and grand theft of $750 or less. I do find probable cause on each count. Do qualify for a bond as to each count. Do have someone present. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Madam Clerk, if you swear her in for me.
Judge. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Asia Reed.
All right, Ms. Reed, you are the listed victim of this case?
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay. Don't tell me any facts about the case. I just want to know if you wish to have contacts with this defendant.
Yes.
Tell me why.
I'm currently pregnant with his child, and
That is not a good reason.
well, we're in a relationship. I don't have any. It was a whole misunderstanding. I never told the police that he put his hands on me or anything. And for the grand theft, it was never a theft. I have my items back now, so I don't understand why they gave him these charges, anyways.
So this affidavit is incorrect.
Yes, I never wrote anything on the affidavit. Only thing I put was that he took the phones, but I have the phones back in my possession now. And I never told the police that he put his hands on me at all. I never wrote a police report.
All right. Is anyone forcing you to come in here and say, Judge, I want to have contacts with this defendant?
No.
And do you understand that no contact order if it's in place, it's to protect you and your unborn child.
Yes, I understand.
And has anyone spoken to you about obtaining an injunction?
Yes, but I already spoke to the state attorney's office. They told me that I would be able to talk to them about the charges being dropped and everything once they get records on file, because they said they don't have anything on file right now.
Okay, and that is true because he was just arrested.
Yes,
Okay.
because I just was calling them to let them know the same thing, like I let you know that I never wrote a police report or called the police for no one putting their hands on me, or the items was never stolen. I got them back, so I don't understand why they gave him a grand theft charge.
All right. And are there any weapons or firearms in the home?
No, ma'am.
Let's see. You all have an apartment?
No, I have a home.
You have a home?
Yes.
Okay. That's 420 West Oakland Ave?
Yes.
All right. It says this was a 911 hang-up, so somebody called 911.
Yes, somebody called 911. It was my daughter that called 911 because he had the phones. We was trying to get the phones back. So on the police report, the only thing I wrote was one sentence that said,
How old's your daughter?
she's 10.
She's 10?
Yes. And it was because I told her to, because I was trying to get the phones back from him. So when the police came, that's what I was telling them that I was calling them for. And I got the phones back but they still gave him a grand theft charge, even though I have my property back. And I never told them that no one put their hands on me. Someone else said that he did, but that wasn't from me.
All right, State, do you have any questions?
Just briefly, you said you have a 10-year-old daughter. Was your daughter the only child present during this time?
She was present, but she wasn't present. She woke up and I went to go get her phone from her.
So she was in the home?
Yes.
Were there any other children in the home?
Yes.
How many?
Just only 2.
Okay, so both children were home. No further questions from the state. I do have arguments once defense is done.
Defense, any questions?
No questions from the defense.
What's your argument?
Based off of the affidavit and the fact that the children advised the officer of what took place in the home and it corroborates the initial statements made by the victim, I do have concerns for safety, and at this time I would be asking for no contact.
All right, the court concurs. That's to count 1. Your bond is set at $5,000. That's to count 2. Your bond is set at $1,000. That's to count 3. Your bond is set at $2,000. You're not to have any contact with Ms. Reed. You are to maintain a separate residence from her. I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you may have there. And you may not possess any weapons or firearms. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you can go one time.
All right, good afternoon. Could I have your first and last name?
Alicia Rosario.
All right, Ms. Rosario, you're arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon. Have reviewed the charging affidavit. Do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond's going to be set at $2,500. Question for you. 4701 Bay Willow Court. Is it a house, an apartment?
Like a duplex.
It's a duplex. Whose name is on the lease? Donald's name?
His dad.
Is Donald's father's?
Yes, that's his name as well.
All right, because I know Donald Walker was also arrested.
Yes.
Do you have anywhere to go? Okay, so you can live with someone else? All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Don't have any contact with Mr. Walker at this time. You all have to maintain a separate residence. I'll give you one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that's at the home. All right? And you cannot possess any weapons or firearms, all right? Do you understand, Ms. Rosario? All right, thank you. All right, sir, can I have your first and last name?
Jamiko Scott.
James Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Scott, your case is 22 CF 10807. Has 2 counts, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Second count is battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Do not qualify for PTR. Your bond is to count 1. It's going to be set at $3,500. Bond is to count 2. It's going to be set at $500. You're not to have any contacts with the listed victim. You are to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand? All right, thank you. Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name?
Omar Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, your case is 22 MM4903. You're arrested on 1 count of battery domestic violence. This is going to be bond with PTR conditions. Bond is set at $500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You are to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim. You're not to return to the scene of the offense, and you are to maintain, I already said that, maintain a separate residence and no weapons and no firearms. Ma'am, can I have your first and last name?
Deanna Concannon.
Your case number is 22 MM6337. You're arrested for 1 count of battery domestic violence. This will be bonds with PTR conditions. Your bond set at $500. Conditions will be not to have any contact with the listed victim, maintain a separate residence, no weapons, no firearms. Do you have any personal items at the home?
Yes, ma'am.
Give you one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those personal items.
Sorry, when you say
Mhm. All right, thank you. May I have your first and last name?
Dominguez.
Mr. Dominguez, your case number is 22 MM6332. You're arrested on 1 count of battery domestic violence. She qualifies for PTR. I don't have my face sheet with this one. Okay. Your bond's gonna be, I do find probable cause for your arrest. This is going to be bonds with PTR conditions. Your bond is set at $500. Conditions will be not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim. Do you have any personal items at the home? I'll give you one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those personal items. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, okay? All right, thank you.
Steven Mateo.
I'm sorry, what is your first and last name?
Steven Mateo.
Okay, Mr. Lot was my next person, so what happened to Mr. Lot?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Mr. Lott was mental health.
At this time, Your Honor, I would waive his appearance.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lot was charged with battery, domestic violence, case number 22 MM 6339. Ma'am, are you here on the Lot case? Okay, all right. He does qualify for PTR. It says it'll be bonds with PTR conditions. Bond will be $500. Not to have any contact with the listed victim. He is to maintain a separate residence from the listed victim. If there's any personal items there, I'll give him one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those items. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms. All right, Stephen Mateo Lopez. Your case number is 22 MM 6326. You're arrested for 1 count, domestic violence. You do qualify for bond, as well as, this is gonna be with PTR. Your bond's gonna be set at $500 because I do find probable cause. Before I tell you your conditions, ma'am, can you tell me your first and last name?
Sasha Augusto.
All right, go ahead and raise your right hand for me.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Sasha Augusto, you are the listed victim in this case?
Yes, I am.
All right, can you speak up a little bit louder for me?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Without telling me any facts, can you tell me if you wish to have contact with this defendant?
Yes, I do.
And tell me why.
We love each other. That was a misunderstanding from a neighbor. There's no violence in my home at all.
All right, so your neighbor's a liar.
I mean, we were arguing, but there was no violence in my home.
Is anyone forcing you to come in here and say, make sure make sure you let the judge know I have contact with this defendant?
Absolutely not.
All right, you understand that no contact order is to protect you.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay, without putting that no contact on the case, there's no way the court can protect you.
I understand that.
Are there any weapons or firearms in the home?
No, there's not.
You're not afraid of this defendant at this time?
No, I am not.
State, any questions?
Just briefly, were there any children in the home when this occurred?
No, my children were going to school. They were gone.
Okay. And there was no damage to your home in this incident?
Only the door.
Okay.
But it was already broken.
No further questions at this time.
Defense?
Nothing from defense.
State, do you have an argument as to contact?
I have concerns given the fact that the neighbors were able to hear and witness some of this altercation, and that it seems some of this has been minimized, how severe it really is. For the sake of the children, I'm going to ask for no contact.
All right, based upon my review of the charging affidavit and this independent witness, I am going to order a no contact at this time. He can certainly modify it at a later date, but because this just happened, is very fresh, I'm going to order no contact at this time, okay?
I understand.
Sir, you have to maintain a separate residence from her. If you have any personal items in the home, I'll give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those personal items, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, understood?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, what was the bond set at?
It was 500.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Can I have your first and last name?
Lian Singh.
All right, Mr. Singh. What about this? Your case is 22 MM 6340. You're arrested on one count of battery domestic violence. You do not qualify for PTR, but you are entitled to a bond. Do you find probable cause? Your bond is set at $500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You are not to return to her home. You're to maintain a separate residence, and you are to not be in possession of any weapons or firearms. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Can I have your first and last name?
Donald Walker.
All right, Mr. Walker. Your case is 22 MM 6327. We're charged with 2 separate counts of battery domestic violence. Don't qualify for PTR, but you are entitled to a bond. Your bond is to count 1 is set at $500. Your bond is to count 2 is set at $500. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You can go back to the residence. And please do not possess or consume any drugs unless prescribed by licensed doctor.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Walker's. We addressed his the victim earlier, and she's to have no return to that address. But this is where he lives, and his father's name is on the lease.
Oh, I know. That's why I said he can go back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he can go back, but she has that one-time assistance with law enforcement. And sir, please do not possess any weapons or firearms, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Antonio Baza.
I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, he can go back. Yeah, it's his, well, his father's name is on the lease. So yeah, it's gonna be still in no contact with her, but he can go back to the home, no possession of weapons or firearms. Can I have your first and last name?
Your Honor, Antonio Baza bonded.
Oh, he bonded?
Mhm.
Really? Okay. All right, who's up next? Scott Bell. All right, Mr. Bell, your case is 22 CF 10800. You're charged with petty theft, second degree, 2 or more prior thefts. With this one, state doesn't have any of his listed prior thefts.
Yeah, I just see them on the sheet I'm given listing criminal history. I don't see them in the affidavit.
They have to be in the charging affidavit.
Yeah, so I'll ask for 24 hours to supplement the affidavit if the court's willing.
All right, I'll give you 24 hours to supplement. All right, thank you. I didn't give one because there's no PC.
Oh.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I have short arms. All right, so Mr. Bradford. All right, your case is 22 CF 6438. There's 2 counts on a failure to appear. Count 1, you do have a bond at $5,000. And count 2, your bond is set at $2,000. Have another case, which is 22 CF 10823. You're arrested on 1 count of possession of MDMA, ecstasy. Do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $1,000. Please do not possess or consume any drugs unless prescribed by a licensed physician. I believe that's all the cases I have for you. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Skylar Chidaluru.
Bonded, okay, thank you. Are you Marlon Diaz?
Yes, ma'am, Marlon Manuel Diaz.
You have 2 cases. Alright. So 22 CF 10821 is in reference to trafficking meth 4 grams or more. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $100,000. You're out on bond when you picked up this new offense, so you were out on bond on 22 CF 9143. Actually, I'm sorry, you were ROR'd on that one, so I'm going to revoke the ROR and set it at 0 at this time. Does he have any additional cases, PTR, that I'm missing?
No, that was all.
That's it? Okay, thank you.
Why don't I have a bond?
You don't, because when you are out on release and you pick up a new offense, I have to revoke that prior release, okay? Now, not right now, but you have I don't know if you have a defense attorney or not, but if you do, please reach out to your defense attorney and they can file a motion in front of the assigned judge to see if you can get bonds on what I just revoked, okay?
I don't have an attorney.
You don't have a public defender, please fill out the application, okay? All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Chantel Donson refused.
Refused defense.
At this time, we'll waive their appearance.
Thank you. All right. She has 22 CF 10809, which is possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $1,000. She was, let me make sure it's not ROR. She was out on bond for 22 CF 911480. Gonna revoke the bond and set it at 0 this time. Just 1 second.
Ivory.
Where's Brian Demetrius Lane?
Your Honor, we have him after Ivory.
Oh, do you?
He
Okay.
refused in any case.
All right, well, okay. So this is, you said Ivory?
Yes.
Oh. All right, Ms. Ivory, your case is 22 CF 10820. You were arrested for 1 count of aggravated assault with a firearm. You are entitled to a bond. State has not filed any pretrial detention motions. You do not qualify for PTR. My understanding that we have the listed victim present. All right, go ahead and raise your right hand for me, ma'am.
Please solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Dorothy Stevenson.
Okay. Ms. Stevenson, I have been tasked with reviewing the charging affidavit. My job is to see if there was enough probable cause for her arrest. And I do find enough probable cause for her arrest. My next job is to set a bond amount. She is entitled to a bond amount. But before we talk about that, would you like to be heard as to anything else?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may do so.
Your Honor, this young lady lives within 50 feet of my home, my resident. Only thing separate our home is a driveway. I'm a grandmother raising my 3 grandchildren, 8, 7, and 6. She is in danger, not only to my children, but to her own children. And we fear for our life. Her family has already been threatening me, you know, and so she's coming home to a resident within 60 feet. Those are high concerns for me and my children.
All right, has anyone spoken to you about obtaining an injunction?
Yes, but I can't do that until Monday because this happened over the weekend. I've talked to Harbor House. No one can help me. That's why I had to plead with the young lady downstairs so I can even speak to you on our behalf for our sake. Where's, you know, who's going to protect us? Who says she's not going to do this again?
Okay. All right, anything else you want me to know?
That's it.
All right, State, do you have any questions?
Everything's been covered.
Defense?
No questions.
No, Your Honor. All right. As to the aggravated assault with the firearm, bond is set at $15,000. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim. You are not to return to the scene. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything else, State?
Just to be overzealous, I would ask for a surrender of any weapons or firearms within 24 hours of release.
All right. Within 24 hours of your release, you must surrender all weapons or firearms to your local law enforcement agency.
And Your Honor, what was that bond amount?
$15,000.
Thank you.
Can I ask another question? So she cannot return to that home?
She
correct?
cannot, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have 7 kids and I don't have anywhere to reside 7 kids at, so I don't have much of a choice.
Ma'am, you cannot return to the area. Next person.
Your Honor, Brian Lane refused.
At this time, Your Honor, we would waive his appearance.
This is another case 22 CF 10819. State, I have reviewed the charging affidavit. It said that he's arrested for petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I only have a prior conviction out of Marion County. Where's the second?
Understood. States asks for a 24-hour reset to supplement the affidavit.
24-hour reset.
I will send out a memo.
Thank you. Next person, please.
Your Honor, Vonia McLean also refused.
Your Honor, at this time, defense would waive her appearance.
All right. Her case is 22 CF 10828. It's 1 count of possession of MDMA, ecstasy. I do find probable cause. She does not qualify for PTR. Her bond is set at $1,000. She is not to possess or consume any drugs. All right.
Johnny Osniak bonded.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Johnny Osniak.
Unless it's attached to something. Austin. I remember seeing that.
He's not bonded.
All right, just. I may be stuck on something. It's out of order. All right. So that person bonded out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Great. Can I have your first and last name?
Janica Owens.
Your case is 22 CF 10827. You have 3 separate counts. The first one is trafficking meth. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $100,000. Second count is conspiracy to sell or deliver MDMA, ecstasy. Your bond is stayed at $15,000. Count 3 is possession of meth. I Do find probable cause, your bond is stayed at $15,000. Please do not possess or consume any drugs.
Cameron Sastry.
All right, Mr. Sastry, your case is 22 CF 10832. You're arrested for aggravated fleeing and attempting to elude law enforcement. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for your arrest. The bond is set at $2,500. All right, thank you.
Lorenzo Spell.
Mr. Spell, your case is 22 CF 10829. You're charged with 2 separate counts, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. Do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be set at $15,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia, do find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. Please do not possess or consume any drugs. Do you have a second case, which is 22? You have a second case?
No.
22 CF 10842, possession of cocaine with the intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stated at $2,500. Again, please do not possess or consume any drugs, okay? And that is all.
Hey, how are you doing? My name is Levante Thomas.
Levante, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. All right, Levante, I have a couple of cases for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the first one is 22 CF 10826. It's you were arrested for 2 separate counts. The first one's trafficking meth, was 13.3 grams. I do find, don't say anything about your case, okay? Don't say anything.
Your Honor.
Oh, that's the wrong, hold on,
There's like-
hold on, it could have got a, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is someone different. Yes. My bad, Mr. Thomas. But still don't say anything about your case. All right, so your case number is 22 CF 10843, and it's 5 separate counts. The first one's possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $15,000. Count 2, possession of ammunition by convicted delinquent. I did not see a listed case number where you were found delinquent, so I did not find probable cause. State?
He has bond on the other charge. I do not object to an ROR on that one.
All right, RR as to count 2. 3 is possession of cannabis. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $1,000. Count 4, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $100. Count 5, possession of drug paraphernalia. Do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $100. Conditions will be, you're not to have any contacts with your co-defendant, who is a juvenile, Mr. Daniel Glover. Now you're out on bond on case 22 CF 10464 when you picked up these new charges. So I'm going to revoke your bond and set it as 0 as to each count. All right, thank you, sir.
I was trying to see it.
No, she's gonna revoke it. Your Honor, at this time, he's
Mhm.
asking if he could pay double bond instead of it being revoked on his previous CF case.
I'm not.
No, but you can speak with your defense attorney about filing the appropriate motion to do so, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Christian, is your attorney on that case? Speak with him.
I do. The grand theft, third degree? All right, that's the only case for him, right?
Yes.
All right. These packets are sticking together. I just want to make sure. All right, where's Brandon Thomas? Mental health?
Your Honor, at this time, we would waive Mr. Thomas's appearance.
His case is 22 CF 10830. He was charged with grand theft, third degree motor vehicle. Do find probable cause. Bond is going to be stayed at $2,500. Did he have something else? I'm sorry?
Yeah.
That's my next person, but I was talking about Brandon Thomas. You don't have a Brandon Thomas?
And we have a Marcus Thomas.
I have a Marcus Thomas as well.
Marcus Thomas is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, so who the heck is Brandon Thomas, and do we have him in custody? Oh, well, he was in my packet, so.
What case number do y'all have for Marcus Thomas?
I have a 22 CF 0108260.
It's not the case number
I
that
have a Marcus Thomas, which is 22 CF 10826, and I have a Brandon Thomas, 22 CF 10830. So you all figure that out, and I'm gonna move on.
Inmate number, Your Honor, for Brandon?
220-21882.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the Marcus Thomas is mental health.
What would you like me to do, Madam Clerk?
Okay, so we just IA Brandon Thomas on the record. So,
But that's the guy that was bonded out.
Yeah.
That bonded out, okay.
And then Marcus Thomas is mental health. Okay, so we have to address this case, because I believe that's.
And defense, you're going to,
I will waive his appearance.
okay, that is
Marcus
as to
Thomas.
Marcus Thomas Jr., 22 CF 10826. And he has two cases, trafficking fentanyl, 4 grams or more. I do find probable cause, bond is stayed at $100,000. Count 2 is the possession of meth with the intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause, and bonds are going to be stayed at $15,000. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Can I have your first and last name?
Whitney Turner.
Your case number is 22 CF 106290.
Yes, Your Honor.
I reviewed an arrest warrant, so probable cause has been found for possession of a controlled substance. And your bond is going to be set at $1,000.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, please do not possess or consume any drugs, okay?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Next person. Hi, can I have your first and last name? Okay. Your case is 22 CT 5294. It's a driving while license suspended or revoked. Do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500 at this time. Just 1 second. You were out on bond when you picked up the new offense, and you were out on bond on 22 CF 10822. It was 3 separate counts. I'm going to revoke your bond as to each count and set it at 0 at this time. Okay? All right, thank you. He has another case. A grand theft, motor vehicle. All right, you have another case, which is 22 CF 10822. Grand theft, third degree, motor vehicle. Yep, you have another case. All right. I do find probable cause for the grand theft, third degree motor vehicle. Your bond is going to be set at $2,500. All right, that's all.
Mikhail Walker.
Mr. Walker, your case is 22 CF 10824. You're arrested on 3 separate counts. The first one's possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Say I don't find probable cause because his priors, if any, were not listed.
State would be asking for 24 hours to supplement the affidavit.
As to count 1, 24-hour reset. Counts 2 and 3, the possession of cocaine and possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $1,000 for each count. I'll see you tomorrow in reference to the first count, okay?
Your Honor, Melissa Ward is mental health.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would waive Mrs. Ward's appearance.
Thank you. Right. She has 22 CF 10801, 1 count of that. Leo, I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $1,500. She has 22, no, yes, 22 MO. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? 1054?
Yes.
Okay. Failure to ID. I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $250.
What's the bond amount on the first case? The CF?
2,500? I'm sorry. No, it's not. I think I said it was stayed and it was 1,500.
Yeah, they did a bond correction form, so you want me to reduce it to 1,500?
Yes.
Terry Worst.
Okay. You have 22 CF 10100. You're arrested on petty theft, 2 prior convictions. This is an arrest warrant. Probable cause has been found. Your bond is currently set at $2,000. Please do not return to the scene of the offense. Is there any additional conditions, State?
No, Your Honor, I only have the warrant.
All right. So for 22 CF 10100, you are out on bond on the grand theft for resisting an officer. I can't read that. I don't know if that's without violence. But because of this new arrest, I'm going to have to revoke your bond and set you at 0 as to each count. All right.
Demaya Moore.
Good afternoon. Demia Moore?
Yes, it's Demaya.
Demaya, my apologies. All right, Demaya, your case is 22 MM 62360. I reviewed a arrest warrant. It's 1 count of stalking. Probable cause has been found. Your bond is set at $2,500. Conditions is not to have any contact with the listed victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you have to surrender any weapons or firearms to law enforcement upon your release within 24 hours, okay? You have another case, I believe, or was that it? one? All right. So that's all for you today.
Avis Peterson.
All right. Your case is 2007 MM 80270. It was a failure to appear. You do have a bond and it's set at $2,000. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Edison Ajas Perez bonded.
Bonded, okay. For all his cases, he bonded? For all the CT cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Irving Johnson, his behavior.
Okay, defense?
Your Honor, at this time, I would waive his appearance.
Thank you. His case number is 22CT5288. It's no valid driver's license. I do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $500. He is not to drive.
So Don Morgan bonded, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Jonathan Nillian also bonded. Alexi Shepherd is mental health.
Your Honor, at this time, I would waive her appearance.
Okay, thank you. All right. Has four cases. First one is 22CT5290. I do find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. 22CT5291. Do find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. 22CT5292. I do find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. Let me see. Out on bond on aggravated battery on a pregnant person, which is 22CF9526. Bond is revoked. Set at 0, please. I have 3. There's a vehicle registration, no valid, and DUI. I did.
Your Honor, Naish Solo Rodriguez, mental health.
Your Honor, at this time, defense will waive their appearance.
All right, 22CT1258. Review the charging affidavit for DUI. Do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $1,000. And for the record, it's actually a DUI with property damage.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
for Nish
Mm-hmm.
Solera Rodriguez, she has 2 cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have the DUI. Oh, the resisting arrest without violence?
Yes.
All right, that's 22MM226. Just 1 second, because I completely missed that one. All right. I do find probable cause for the resisting officer without violence. Bond's gonna be set at $500.
They stayed the bond amount.
For last case we just did,
Yeah,
it was 500.
It's 2 charges.
No, I'm so sorry, Your Honor. She's in training, so I'm trying not to say much.
Sure.
Okay. But on defendant Alexi Shepherd, the one right before that one, with the 3 driving cases, also had an MM case.
Existing officer, but
And it was two charges on the MM. 3 CT and 1 MM.
All right, just 1 second. Going back to 22MM6335, defendant Alexi Shepherd. All right, upon my review of the charging affidavit for a resisting officer without violence, I do find probable cause, bond is stated at $500. As to count two, providing false identification of law enforcement, I do find probable cause, bond is stated at $500. Here you go.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have?
Julius Stanley.
All right, Mr. Stanley, you have 22 CT 5293, which is driving while license suspended or revoked. Do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. You were out on bond in case 22 CF 8562 when you picked up this new case. So I'm going to revoke your bond and set you at 0 as to each of the counts. He has 3 counts. All right, thank you. Can I have your first and last name?
Oh, sorry. Marcus Torres. Marcus A. Torres.
All right, Mr. Torres, your case is 22 CT 1459. The failure to appear. Do have a bond. Your bond is set at $2,000. Let me see if you have any additional cases that I need to be aware of. Nope, that's all for today. Okay, thank you. Can I have your first and last name?
Jesus Marquez.
Mr. Marquez, your case is 22 6329. You're arrested on 1 count of trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. Please do not return to the Wing House located at 3201 Parkway Center Court. All right? Can I have your first and last name?
Tybree Oliver.
Your case is 22 6321, trespass on property after warning. Do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. Please do not return to the BP gas station located at 401 North John Young Parkway. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, the defense would waive their appearance.
Say that last name again.
Adriel Taslekian.
All right. Cassie. Oh, it was off to the side. It's the disorderly intoxication.
Oh.
Yeah. Case number 22 6342, waiver of appearance by defense. I have reviewed the disorderly intoxication. I do find probable cause. Bond will be set at $250. Yes, I'm reducing it. All right.
Sky Van Dien, refused.
Your Honor, at this time, defense will waive their appearance.
He has 22 6345, which is possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Bond is stated at $500 while he was out on bond on 22 CF 6338. He picked up this, the new case that we just previously spoke about. Going to revoke bond, set him at 0 as to each count.
Nancy Acevedo bonded.
Okay.
Dennis Bernard Elder also bonded. Eric Class, his behavior.
Your Honor, at this time, we would waive his appearance.
Thank you. He has case, thought I had the case number. It's a out-of-county warrant. It's out of Volusia. And, I don't see the case number on here, but the bond is set at 0. Alright. Who do we have next?
John DeToma.
All right. Your case number. It's a 222043 CFA. Looks like it's a Seminole County warrant. Your bond's currently set at 0 at this time, so Seminole County will come get you.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question? Just mercy of the court, please.
I would prefer that you speak with defense counsel and just make sure.
Well, I've hired a lawyer, Patrick Grosinger.
Okay,
So I didn't receive my court paperwork. The only issue I'm having is my wife has congestive heart failure and lupus, and I'm her caregiver. And I made a mistake. I'm so
well, don't say
sorry.
anything else. If it's about getting a bond amount, I am not the judge that issued the 0 bond. So you're gonna have to go to Seminole County, and your attorney's gonna have to file a motion for bond. Okay, so make sure you reach out to your defense counsel. You're welcome. John DeToma? Oh. I was looking. Uh-huh. All right, who do we have next?
Christopher Gallup.
All right, Mr. Gallup. There's 3 counts here. It's out-of-county warrant, but you do have a bond. As to count 1 is 5,000, as to count 2 is 2,000, and as to count 3 is 3,000. I'm sorry, 2,000. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Are you Samantha Stewart?
Him.
All right, you have an out-of-county warrant.
Yes, ma'am.
My information says it's a Seminole County warrant.
Yes.
Your bond is currently set at 0, so Seminole County has to come get you, okay? All right, you're welcome. All right, are you Miss Sandra Austin?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 2017 CF 11556. It's a violation of probation. So the bond is currently set at 0 at this time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Can I have your name, please?
Leland Reed.
All right. Mr. Reed, you have 21 CF 8019, violation of probation. Your bond is currently set at 0 at this time. You have also 22 CF 10683. And that is an arrest warrant. Probable cause has been found. As to count 1, which is the sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a child care. Your bond is set at $10,000. As to count 2, which is sale and delivery of cocaine, your bond is set at $1,000. You're not to return to the specific area. All right?
Yes,
And hold on, so sorry. You have another case? Yeah. So you have a possession of cocaine as well. All right, this was, I don't know why they didn't add it to last case, but I do find probable cause for this arrest of possession of cocaine. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $1,000. Have I handled all 4?
Has an on view?
Yes.
On view VOP?
Yes, for 8019. I think you called that case, but we got a,
The VOP set at 0 already.
okay, thank you.
Is that all?
That should be it.
All right, thank you.
You got Taylor Harmon, is mental health.
All right.
At this time, defense would waive their appearance.
20 CF 1240 is a violation of probation. That bond is currently set at 0. And we have 22 MM 6341, which is a resisting officer without violence. They do find probable cause. Bond is stayed at $500. She only has 2 cases, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened to Tikara Nicole Wright?
Yeah, I don't have that person on the docket, they might have bonded.
Oh, you don't?
No, they were
Oh.
on the docket.
Okay.
220218888.
They bonded.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes initial appearances for today. Court's adjourned.
I have Robert